Welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph. Now, if you've been struggling with Outlaws and Legends and you need some assistance, I got 10 tips for you that'll make your time with this game much easier. Let's get right into the video and not waste any more time. Tip number 1, get this out of the way right away. John, the brawler, carries the chest quicker than anybody else. Not to mention he can winch a little bit quicker. But note this, any character who's winching, if you press down your heavy attack, you're going to be winching a little bit faster, utilizing your stamina for this particular thing. It's very useful. But if you have John, have him carry the chest, have him winch whenever it's possible. Tip number 2, when picking a spot to extract the chest to, pick one that's nearest your spawn. So you might not see it during the match, so when you just spawn to the map, open up the map, see where you are located. You'll know where your spawn is. This is the side you want to bring the chest over. You want to make it easier for yourself to extract. Tip number 3, when you are extracting, make sure one of your teammates takes over the spawn points around the area to slow the enemies down so they're not close to you. They have to run across the whole map, and if you die, you have multiple locations to spawn from if you want. Tip number 4, play your character's role. I can't tell you how much I've seen people just get out of their character, a stealth character who's trying to fight everybody. Don't try to get into a melee scuffle as Robin against a Took. You'll most likely lose. Of course, the situations you might win, most of the time you lose. Know your character's role and stick with it. And utilize your specials, which can actually be built up by killing AI enemies. A lot of people have been telling on YouTube could avoid this and they're a waste of time. They're not a waste of time. Killing AI enemies fills up your meter so much quicker. So that if you want to have it powered up, especially somebody like Robin who has an explosive arrow, or the brawler who has that stamina, it can be very, very useful on the way. Tip number 5, play as a team. I'm going to repeat that. Tip number 5, play as a team. Try to use a mic. Of course, you want to communicate and coordinate, but if you don't have a mic, at the very least, ping enemies, ping objectives, help your teammates out to get them info and assist them in attacks or defenses. Tip number 6, play stealthy. This game, especially in the 3/4 of the phase of this match, playing stealthy really is to your advantage because there's multiple hiding points and you can sneak up enemies out of nowhere. Don't be that guy at the beginning of the match who's running like a maniac, exposing your position to the AI and the enemy team and compromising your whole squad. That is just super annoying. You can find the sheriff, steal the key, and even extract the chest without ever being noticed if you're smart about it and stealthy and work as a team. However, I mean, you get noticed, it happens, but you should try to minimize it as much as you can. Tip number 7, closed gates can be raised by John, which you might know, but if he's not around or you don't have one of them on your team, there's usually a door, a rope you could shoot down, or a ladder you can climb, usually directly to the left or right of each of the gates, or maybe a slightly wide ways, but you'll be able to utilize them to get past the point quicker than having to run around a whole point. Just look around the area and familiarize yourself with each of the locations you're in. Tip number 8, keep an eye out for grenade boxes and ammo boxes. Of course, if you're a ranged character, ammo boxes are super useful, but the grenade boxes are super useful in this game as grenades do various types of supportive roles, whether it be a grenade for a brawler or a smoke bomb for the hunter. And make sure you tag them for your teammates so they know where they at. Eliminate a squad of enemies with just one grenade. It could be super useful in a pinch. Tip number 9, if you're attacking an enemy team, wait for your teammates to respawn and catch up with you to attack in unison. Don't try to be that lone wolf. Sticking together, or at least in groups of 2, really helps you take on enemies together, so you're always in there with a bigger force. And the last tip we got here is a long one but a very useful. Remap a couple controls on your controller if you're playing like me on one of the console systems, whether it be an Xbox, PS5, PS4, or if you have using controller on the PC. So what we're going to do is we're going to remap a couple of things to make it easier to assassinate, block and evade, and tag enemies. This is the ones I have. To crouch, change it to circle or B depending on your platform. For assassinate, switch it to L1 or LB. Evade and block, switch it to R3 or RS, I believe it is on Xbox, the clicking of the right analog stick. And up on the D-pad to tag enemies. And I put square or X to throw the rock to distract, which I found to be a little bit easier to do when I need to do it in a pinch. Why change the controls? This allows you to keep moving while you're trying to assassinate enemies, because sometimes you have to reposition yourself as you're approaching an enemy. It could be annoying to take away your thumb away from the analog stick, so this makes it a little bit better. As well as dodging and blocking, you can always keep an eye on your team. Before you have to let go of the right analog stick, whether you be blocking or assassinating, and you can make it repositioning yourself just kind of puts you more in danger. This way you'll never take your eyes away from the prize, and you'll be able to always be one up on your enemy. Thanks to the channel Obligated for this very useful tip. I'll make sure I link his info down below if you want more Hood, Outlaws, and Legends content. We gotta unite as a community here, and I want to make sure I share where credit is due. And hopefully these tips were useful to you guys, and if you have something to add that I don't have in this video, please make sure to do it down below, as it's going to make this community thrive overall. And I want this game to do well as much as I have its problems with it. I think the game is great and it's loads of fun. Let me know down below, are you enjoying this game? And again, let me know if you have any tips as well from here. And if you enjoy this content, make sure you subscribe down below to the channel. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.